to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi, and I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And today I'm going to talk about self-pity. But before I do, that's kind of funny, it just hit me. Before I do, I wanted to mention that I was trying to do a few shorts, those short videos on YouTube. And like the first couple I did, I had like 400 and something views, and I had like 3 likes. And then the next one I did, same thing, and I had 11 likes. And then and I was like, this is great. I'm going to get more listeners. I'm going to get more followers and connections. And then like after that, my likes dwindled. And I was like, how can you hit dislike when somebody is talking about how to be a better person or how to stay sober or like what are the gifts of sobriety? It was just like a little 60-second video that was like I took a piece of the podcast. Anyway, I was like, that feels like a terrible person to dislike when you're talking about something like that. But that is the risk of being like recovering out loud or doing anything like this. Is like haters gonna hate, and you just have to like be like, am I that bad? Like, why is somebody gonna go out of their way to dislike me? Anyway, I was not struggling, but I was thinking about that, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do any more shorts. But I don't think that that's the answer. I think maybe I need to bring these guys into my shorts. Am I right? Oh yeah, they'll totally get some likes. So anyway, so I wanted to talk about self-pity. And no, I don't feel self-pity because they disliked me. It's fine. But self-pity is and can be consuming. It's a character defect, according to the AA program. And it not only hampers our happiness, but also our spiritual and emotional growth. And it is an absolute barrier to progress. It's a barrier to progress in stroke recovery as well. Take it from me. It seems to drive cutting off communication with other people. And people, I think, have a difficult time helping somebody that is experiencing self-pity, because those of us who are exhibiting self-pity, and there's two, right? I think there's two kinds of self-pity. There's self-pity that we feel on the inside and we isolate and we hide from people. And there's self-pity that excessively demands attention and sympathy. So it's just like depression. I feel like it is a branch of depression. Just like a drug, it's like this, it provides strangely a false comfort that is like, it's hard to put it into words really, but it is something that is that uncomfortable comfort zone. I talked about that a few days ago, and it provides a bit of relief from reality. It gives an excuse not to engage in reality, I think. And in order to sustain it like a drug, it demands you to increase the dosage of it. So if we allow ourselves to succumb to self-pity, yes, I have an adorable Weimaraner in the background. If we allow ourselves to succumb to self-pity, we as alcoholics risk falling back into old destructive behaviors, and that can include drinking. So today, the daily reflection on the Alcoholics Anonymous website was about self-pity. That's why we're talking about it today. And it says that they describe it as a bar to all spiritual progress, and warns of its potential to lead us into a relapse. It is not good stuff. Self-pity is not good stuff. It may feel like you're isolating and you're just, I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just feeling sorry for myself. But you are. You are, and it's feeding into something massive. It's like a volcano. I don't know how volcanoes work, but I would imagine there is this increase in pressure, and that's what self-pity is. It's like this slow increase in pressure until eventually you explode or you have to drink. And all of this to say, it directly impacts our mental state in a way that it impacts our recovery and sobriety as well. Stroke recovery, sobriety, what I'm dealing with vestibular therapy. If my attitude is hopeful, I am more willing to engage in my therapy, and that's the potential for me to make some progress. It's the same as sobriety. If I am willing to accept, right? There's a lot of acceptance that goes into it. Then I'm more willing to engage with my network, with my sobriety network. So turning our attention outward is one effective antidote to self-pity. But it's turning our focus outward is a solution for most issues. Most mental issues, I've noticed, if I turn my focus outward, and it's not because I'm ignoring my problems, it's because it's putting my problems in perspective. And what's interesting is I can be sitting, back when I was working, I could be sitting in my office helping somebody who had come to me and wanted to talk about an issue, and something will come out of my mouth helping them that I have like vocalized and gone, oh, I need to take my own advice. And it gets me into a more positive space. But by focusing on others, for me in the stroke community and other fellow alcoholics, I began to diminish that exaggerated sense of suffering. That's what self-pity is for me. This shift will not only help me, like I said, but it also fosters that ongoing, genuine connection with others, and that reinforces a growing recovery network. So, one space that I frequently feel self-pity is when I face a loss, a death of somebody. And of course, it's natural to feel this just emptying sadness, this hollow, feeling of loss. But this requires action on our parts to be able to, they say, move on. What I like to think of it as, we're not moving past it, I'm moving on with it. So a lingering feeling of self-pity over losses can pull me into a place that I remember so well when I was drinking, when I lost people when I was drinking. I never recovered from that. I never mourned it correctly. I never grieved. And although, I'll talk about it, I felt like if I were to move on, back then I felt like I had to get past it. Now I understand I need to move on with it. If I continue, if I felt like if I did that, if I became happy again, then I was disrespecting that person that I lost. I felt like I needed to suffer, and I made myself suffer. It was like I was honoring their memory more fully if I continued to be unhappy, to suffer. This is a delusion of mine, and I've felt it over and over again. It's a form of self-pity. She's scratching herself. I'm sure you can hear the old collar. Oh, she's so cute. Okay. On, I'm gonna tell you, have an itchy? Are you having itchy? Quiet down over there. Okay. So the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous talks about asking God to direct our thinking away from self-pity toward more constructive attitudes like gratitude. And just like our other antidote, helping others, gratitude is also a pretty powerful antidote. I'm sorry. I apologize. 1 second, please. Boris, quiet. It helps us, gratitude helps us to recognize the blessings in our lives, reducing this space for self-pity. These puppies are not behaving this time. Also, recognizing self-pity as a character defect, like we hear about in AA. It's just as much a character defect as dishonesty, impatience, and being overly judgmental. And like I was mentioning earlier, a couple weeks ago, overly empathetic. It seems like, wow, is that a character defect? For me, it is, because a character defect is something that could drive me to drink. And all of these character traits are things that could lead to a drink. So recognizing that, just recognizing them as a character defect, is a step towards being able to do something about it. They stop feeling these character defects, stop emotional growth and healing and recovery. They also prevent acceptance and block us from moving forward and taking action. So acceptance, and this is in the more, is still related to that loss, and that is, it's moving on with. So acceptance doesn't mean that I'm denying that something is painful, because that's what it feels like when somebody says you need to move on, you need to get over it. I don't agree with that, because I can't. I can't get over it. I can't move on, move past it. I have to move on with it. Somehow I have to have this, like, imagine a big purse, and I need to take that thing and put it in the purse. And I'm allowed to carry it with me, but I have to make sure that it's not weight bearing. It doesn't have a lot of weight to it. And in order to do that, if it's pain that I'm putting in the purse, it has weight. If it's just a memory, it doesn't have any weight, and I can put it in the purse. So recognizing that it happened, recognizing that the thing, that it hurt, that it caused a lot of pain, but we have to give ourselves permission to be happy again, even though, be happy despite the thing that happened. We can still live happy, sober, and free with the new knowledge of this thing. Whether it's a person that we lost, whether it's having a stroke, whether it's you're an alcoholic, you're never going to be able to drink again. Whatever that thing is that's painful emotionally, we can recognize that and appreciate the intense level of hurt. But I have recently uncovered another layer in my recovery, and that is giving myself permission to be happy. And I used to tell you about this being more of like choose happy, and that's really simplifying it too much. And I know that from my psychiatrist. You don't just turn one feeling off and turn the other one on. But it's a huge pivot for me to, it allows me to hold on to joy without feeling guilty. Acknowledging that joy does not, if I'm happy after the loss, it doesn't diminish the reality or the impact of the past pain. What it is doing is allowing me to keep living and moving on with the memory, not the pain, with the memory. So thanks for joining me today on Recovery Daily Podcast. I will talk to you tomorrow. These puppies were not on their best behavior today. They are currently waiting for a toy that I have tucked into my side. Here, let me move over to Autumn. There she is. They're waiting. They're waiting for the toy. I'm going to bring the toy out. There it is. They can argue after it together. Okay. See you later.